Trump told Walmart to, quote, eat the cost of rising tariffs so they can keep prices low for
World's biggest retailer by volume and profit, that would be Walmart, warned today that it may have to start raising prices.
The Walmart is the latest large company to announce layoffs, really the first major retailer of late to do so.
Canada's retail and service sector is losing jobs, and this is happening in front of our eyes. Wholesale and retail trade lost 29,000 jobs in March 2025 following tariff impacts. Retail and wholesale shed 27,000 additional jobs in April. Canada lost 33,000 jobs total in March. Unemployment hit 6.7%. August 2025, unemployment surged to 7.1%, the worst level since January 2022. Ontario's unemployment rate, 7.8%, the highest in nearly 4 years. Windsor unemployment exceeded 10%, far above the national average. This isn't a typical economic slowdown. This is Canada's iconic retailers, Tim Hortons, Walmart, Loblaws, caught in a perfect storm of Trump tariffs destroying consumer spending, temporary foreign worker controversies exploding into public outrage, and a labor market collapsing under the weight of economic uncertainty. December 2025. I'm going to break down exactly how tariffs are crushing retail employment, why Tim Hortons is lobbying for more foreign workers while Canadians can't find jobs, what Walmart and Loblaws layoffs reveal about the broader crisis, and why this employment catastrophe is accelerating into 2026. Subscribe to this channel right now if you want to understand how Canada's retail apocalypse is destroying middle-class jobs. Let's start with the tariff impact. March 2025, RSM Canada economist Tu Nguyen warned, "We saw a lot of layoffs happening in trade in March, and we expect April to see even more layoffs and a rise in the unemployment rate." Wholesale and retail trade lost 29,000 jobs in March alone. These sectors lost 27,000 more jobs in April, 56,000 retail and wholesale jobs gone in 2 months. That's not seasonal adjustment, that's an employment collapse. And it's happening because Trump's tariffs are destroying consumer confidence. BC government assessment, retail sector expected to face significant job losses from tariffs. Losses would be felt in transportation and retail sectors as unemployment rises. Canadian families aren't buying, they're terrified. Tariffs mean higher prices on everything from groceries to clothes to electronics. So they're cutting back, delaying purchases, canceling orders, and when consumers stop spending, retail workers get fired. Canada lost 62,000 full-time jobs in March, the worst March on record outside COVID for full-time losses. Service sectors, including wholesale trade, recreation services, and retail, saw the biggest job losses, 62,000 full-time jobs. Think about what that means. Families who relied on steady paychecks to pay mortgages, car loans, groceries, suddenly scrambling for part-time work or unemployment benefits. Now let's talk about Walmart specifically. May 2025, Walmart planning to slash 1,500 corporate jobs following Trump trade spat. While Walmart's workforce reduction reportedly focused on U.S. staff, it could affect employees north of the border. Walmart has more than 18,300 workers in Canada, 1,500 corporate jobs. Walmart, Canada's largest private employer alongside its parent company, cutting management positions because tariff uncertainty is crushing cross-border operations. Canadian divisions share corporate functions with U.S. headquarters. When headquarters cuts, Canada bleeds. Reports of Walmart layoffs come amid a flurry of job cuts in 2025, including Chegg, Group M, OpenText, Meta, CrowdStrike, Expedia Group, Intel, Google, and Wayfair. This isn't just Walmart, this is systemic. Every major retailer with cross-border operations is slashing costs, and Canadian workers are paying the price. Now Loblaws. March 2025, Loblaws planned 700 corporate layoffs at Brampton headquarters over 3 weeks. Workforce reduction aimed to reduce expenses and provide for investments to enhance customer proposition. Loblaws took a one-time charge of $60.8 million, reflecting anticipated costs of planned reductions. 700 jobs. Canada's largest grocer, operating over 1,000 stores, employing 135,000 people, cutting 700 corporate positions to reduce administrative expense. This while Canadians are paying record grocery prices and Loblaws is posting record profits. October 2017, Loblaws laid off 500 office workers in cost control effort. Company warned minimum wage hikes would cost an extra $190 million in 2018 and would be looking to cut costs. This is Loblaws' pattern. Blame minimum wage increases, blame operating costs, cut workers, keep profit margins, rinse and repeat. November 2022, more than 500 Calgary Loblaws workers served layoff notice amid possible lockout. Teamsters 987 members earning less than the acceptable living wage for Calgary of $22.40 facing layoffs just ahead of the holiday season. NDP condemned layoffs as intimidation tactic designed to undermine collective bargaining. Loblaws profits have increased by more than $1 million per day. Profits up $1 million per day. While workers making below living wage get layoff notices before Christmas, that's not cost management, that's greed. Glassdoor review, constantly restructuring, many jobs in corporate were outsourced, continuous rounds of layoffs for both full-time and contractors. Loblaws has seen record profits since the start of COVID onward. Record profits, continuous layoffs, outsourcing, that's Loblaws' business model, and Canadian workers are expendable. Now here's where it gets controversial. Tim Hortons. December 2025. Tim Hortons lobbied federal government for over 18 months to lift the cap on temporary foreign workers franchisees can hire. Company representatives met with MPs from Liberals, Conservatives, and Bloc Québécois, plus staff from several federal departments on October 28, 2025. Let that sink in. Canada's youth unemployment is at its highest level in over 25 years outside the pandemic. Windsor's unemployment exceeds 10%. Ontario's jobless rate hit 7.8%, worst in 4 years, and Tim Hortons is lobbying for more foreign workers. A letter released through Access to Information shows Tim Hortons previously asked Ottawa to raise the TFW cap from 20% to 30% per workplace. In 2024, federal government reduced the general TFW cap to 10%, tightening access. From 20% to 10%, the government tightened rules, and Tim Hortons responded by lobbying harder for exceptions, requesting faster work permit renewals, seeking flexibility in hiring TFWs. December 2025. 44% of Canadians support abolishing the temporary foreign worker program altogether, citing concerns about foreign workers taking jobs from locals. 44% want the program abolished, because Canadians see what's happening. Their kids can't get summer jobs at Tim Hortons anymore. Entry-level positions that used to go to high school students now go to temporary foreign workers. Federal government approved over 100,000 temporary worker visas in final half of 2024, many for jobs at fast food restaurants including Tim Hortons. Approximately 1 in 25 people working in Canada in 2021 were temporary foreign workers, 4.1%, up from 1 in 50 a decade earlier, 1.9%. 4.1% of Canada's workforce, 100,000 plus new permits in 6 months, while Canadian youth unemployment soars. Conservative Party data. Tim Hortons hired 1,131% more temporary foreign workers over just 4 years. Under Liberals, employment insurance requests increased 7.4% since Carney took office, 504,110 in March to 541,130 in June. Almost 400,000 Canadians searching for work for over 2 years. Outside pandemic, this is the highest share of long-term unemployment since February 1998. 1,131% increase. Let me repeat that. Tim Hortons increased temporary foreign worker hiring by 11 times over 4 years, while 400,000 Canadians have been job searching for 2 years. December 2025, Grimsby, Ontario. Tim Hortons' location told Canadian workers they would be fired amid planned franchise sale. Conservative MP Dean Allison publicly questioned the chain. Are you firing all Canadian workers? Selling franchisee later reversed course and apologized after public outcry. Firing Canadian workers during a franchise sale, only reversing after a member of parliament called them out publicly. That's how normalized this has become. Earlier in 2025, Tim Hortons' manager offered 17-year-old female Canadian employee to marry her Indian adult brother to secure path to permanent residency. Marriage fraud schemes. At Tim Hortons, Canada's iconic coffee chain. This is what the temporary foreign worker program has devolved into. Tim Hortons operates on franchise model with individual restaurant owners responsible for hiring decisions. Company acknowledged handling of Grimsby situation was inappropriate. We believe this was a bad outcome. Individual franchisees responsible. That's Tim Hortons' defense. Corporate claims no responsibility for what happens in franchises, but they lobby the federal government for more TFW access. They set the policies. They profit from the model. Critics argue it makes little sense for a massive national chain with resources for training and retention to rely on TFWs for entry-level jobs in cities where Canadian youth are seeking employment. Exactly. Tim Hortons has the resources to train Canadian workers, to pay competitive wages, to offer decent schedules, but instead they want government permission to import cheaper labor. Jacobin Magazine. Tim Hortons workers endure wage theft, inconsistent scheduling, bullying, fighting for days off, and bad managers. Employees refer to their time as the worst job of my life. Franchisees gotten heat for abuses against temporary foreign workers, including tip and wage theft and threats of deportation. Wage theft, deportation threats, tip stealing. This is the reality of Tim Hortons' temporary foreign worker model, and they want to expand it. 2015, Tim Hortons confirmed 350 layoffs at headquarters and regional offices following Burger King merger. Long-serving employees blindsided by sudden layoffs. It was really shocking. Days before layoffs, company downplayed media speculation and gave employees impression they shouldn't worry. This is corporate Tim Hortons, telling employees everything's fine while planning mass terminations. 350 headquarters jobs eliminated 6 weeks after the Burger King takeover. Brazilian private equity firm 3G Capital, which owned Burger King, is known for ruthless cost control with record of staff cuts at acquisitions like Heinz. Tim Hortons isn't Canadian anymore. It's owned by a Brazilian private equity firm, famous for slashing costs and firing workers. And now they're lobbying for cheaper foreign labor while Canadians lose jobs. Now let's connect this to the broader crisis. Ontario shed 29,400 manufacturing jobs in Q2 2025, a 3.5% drop, the sharpest quarterly loss since 2009 except COVID. Loss of 56,600 full-time jobs, partly offset by 18,700 part-time jobs. Unemployment rose to 7.8%. Full-time jobs replaced by part-time. Manufacturing collapsing. Retail hemorrhaging workers. This is Canada's labor market in free fall. Windsor unemployment, 11.2% in Q2 2025, highest in Ontario, up 1.9 percentage points due to manufacturing losses. Windsor, 11.2%, 1 in 9 workers unemployed. In a city that depends on automotive manufacturing and cross-border trade, tariffs are destroying these communities. August 2025, manufacturing lost 19,200 jobs. Transportation and warehousing lost 22,700 jobs. Professional services lost 26,100 jobs. Services sector, accounting for almost 80% of all jobs, shed 67,200 positions. 67,200 service sector jobs in 1 month. That's retail, hospitality, professional services, the backbone of Canada's economy. Collapsing. BMO Chief Economist Doug Porter. The economy is struggling with uncertainty on the trade front. Money markets betting 92% odds of rate cut after jobs data. Bank of Canada cutting rates, desperately trying to save the economy. But rate cuts don't work when the problem is tariffs and consumer fear. November 2025, 50% of Canadian employers reducing production or laying off employees in anticipation of tariffs. 50% of employers. Half the country's businesses either cutting production or firing workers. That's not a recession warning. That's a recession reality. 2025 saw major layoffs at Bell, 4,800 jobs, Federal Public Service, 9,807 jobs, Starbucks, 900 non-retail employees, Molson Coors, 400 salaried jobs, Ericsson, 100 technical positions, Canada Post, hundreds of managers, Imperial Oil, 900 jobs by 2027. Every sector, telecom, government, retail, manufacturing, energy, bleeding jobs. Ontario post-secondary institutions facing nearly 10,000 job losses amid enrollment declines. Metals sector warning of impending layoffs due to U.S. tariffs. 10,000 education jobs. Metals workers facing layoffs. This crisis is accelerating, not slowing. Here's what this means for regular Canadians. You're a 22-year-old trying to get your first job. You apply to Tim Hortons, Walmart, Starbucks, McDonald's, entry-level positions that used to hire Canadian teens. Application rejected. Position filled by temporary foreign worker. You're a 45-year-old laid off from Loblaws corporate. 700 positions cut. You're competing with hundreds of others for shrinking job opportunities. Unemployment benefits run out in 45 weeks. Then what? You're a Windsor automotive worker. Plant temporarily shut down due to tariffs. You're on temporary layoff, no idea if you'll be called back, mortgage payment due in 2 weeks. You're a retail manager at Walmart Canada. Headquarters announced 1,500 corporate cuts. You don't know if your division is safe. Every day you go to work wondering if this is the day you get called into HR. You're a university graduate with $40,000 in student debt. You've sent 200 job applications, no callbacks. You're working part-time at a coffee shop making 16-hour, can't afford an apartment. Living with parents at age 27. Here's the bottom line. Canada's retail and service sector is in crisis. Tariffs destroyed 56,000 wholesale and retail jobs in 2 months. Unemployment hit 7.1% in August, worst since January 2022. Ontario unemployment, 7.8%, highest in 4 years. Windsor, 11.2%, 1 in 9 workers jobless. Tim Hortons lobbied for 18 months to increase temporary foreign worker caps, while Canadian youth unemployment hit 25-year highs. Increased TFW hiring by 1,131% over 4 years. Grimsby franchise tried to fire all Canadian workers during sale. Manager caught offering marriage fraud scheme. Walmart planning 1,500 corporate job cuts affecting Canadian operations. Loblaws cut 700 headquarters jobs while posting profits up $1 million per day. Both companies squeezing workers while executives get richer. 50% of Canadian employers cutting production or firing workers in anticipation of tariffs. Manufacturing lost 29,400 jobs in Q2. Services sector shed 67,200 jobs in August alone. Major layoffs at Bell, Canada Post, Imperial Oil, Starbucks, Molson Coors. The temporary foreign worker program that was supposed to fill labor shortages is now suppressing wages and stealing opportunities from Canadian workers. Youth can't get entry-level jobs. Experienced workers can't find positions. Long-term unemployment at levels not seen since 1998. This story will define Canadian employment for years. Stay tuned.